Sheryl Gaze Stolberg, Michael Shear wrote in the New York Times today, without Nelson Mandela, there might never have been a President Obama. And President Obama made reference to that fact in his speeches about Nelson Mandela.
No, that is absolutely true. President Obama came of age in this country at a time when there was a great movement toward anti-apartheid. There was a movement on the campuses of American universities to force businesses to divest from South Africa, and President Obama was really inspired by Nelson Mandela and by that movement. The first political speech he ever gave in 1979, when he was 18 years old at Occidental College in California, was an anti-apartheid speech, and he went on to try to recruit leaders from the African National Congress to speak on campus there. He made this his cause, and I think the comparisons between Mandela and Obama are inevitable, even though the president has shied away from them. But of course, both were the first black presidents of their country. Both have been Nobel Prize winners. Both are lawyers. Nelson Mandela was among the first black lawyers in South Africa. President Obama, of course, the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. As I said, the president always shied away from those comparisons, but it is clear that Nelson Mandela has truly been his inspiration, and you could see it when he came and spoke last night at the White House about Mandela's death.
Give us a little history, Jerry Seib. That was during the Reagan administration. 1979 was the first year I took over this microphone. President Reagan did not want to have the U.S. participate in anti-apartheid activity.
No, and I think it's easy to forget now how completely the South African debate here was wrapped up with the Cold War environment. I mean, there was a sense, and the Reagan administration embraced this, that the South African government of the time, the apartheid government, as distasteful as it may be, was a bulwark against communism in Africa. And stopping the march of communism through Africa in the early to mid-1980s was a very big deal for national security hawks in this country. And that was the debate. Do you push for desegregation and an end to apartheid, or do you look at South Africa as a bulwark against communism? And in 1984, when in this city, Washington, protests against apartheid at the South African embassy really hit kind of a fever pitch. They went on for months and months, every day, hundreds and sometimes thousands of people out there. It was in the context of this debate. Is South Africa a bulwark against communism, or is it an odious regime that needs to be thrown out no matter what the cost?
And Robert Costa, how economically effective were those protests?
I think you see the protests did have a major part in changing the perception, especially here in the United States in the 1980s. But we've seen a lot of discussion about the anti-apartheid movement this year. A lot of people saw Lee Daniels' film The Butler, and you see Ronald Reagan confronted about apartheid in South Africa. But when you go back to Reagan's own diaries, his entries from 1983, he talks about the sanctions. He talks about how he, quote, detests apartheid, but he just was never able to move against the sanctions and break with Botha's government. And so Reagan had a complicated relationship, I think, and I think Jerry's right. A lot of it was wrapped up in that Cold War strategy.
Sheryl.
I think that's absolutely true. But getting back to the anti-apartheid movement and Obama and sort of Nelson Mandela's influence in this country, I think Nelson Mandela was more than just an inspiration to South Africans or even to Black Americans. I really think that he has inspired, in a way, all Americans, and not only for his forbearance and for his dignity, but also for his generosity of spirit. After he became president in South Africa, I was so struck by the way he embraced his white predecessor, F.W. de Klerk. He reached out. He didn't turn around and visit upon the white minority the injustices that had been visited upon Black people in South Africa for centuries. And truly, I can't really think of a greater man walking on the face of this earth. I think President Obama said it very well last night when he said, he no longer belongs to us. He belongs to the ages.